Hello there. We're sitting here with Colleen McQuaid. She is a member of CrossFit Quispamsis and has been training with me for the past few months. And so we're going to chat a little bit about her journey through the Open and the Online Qualifier and kind of her training in the past. So I'll let her introduce herself here and we'll chat.
Hi, I'm Colleen.
So Colleen, so you recently completed the Age Group Online Qualifier last weekend before all of this COVID-19 pandemic, and kind of you went into that after the Open. So how did you qualify for it? How did you qualify for the Online Qualifier?
Through the Open, you mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Yeah. So 5 weeks of competition, and this year's Open, I decided to not stress over it as much as I have in the past.
Yeah.
I always felt like there was a lot of pressure, or I don't know, maybe it's just expectations I put on myself. So I'm very, very hard on myself. Last Open, like a year ago from now, I left the gym in tears pretty much every day, just so mad at myself and beat myself up over it. And I don't know, I guess thinking that I could possibly come top 20 again, which didn't matter anyways because they cut her down to the top 10. So yeah. The Open in the fall, I think I went in with a better mindset. Thanks to you, Brett. fixed my head a little bit. And I decided to do one and done for every workout. And there was definitely a few that I could have repeated, and I know that I could have done better. But the Open to me was just come top 200 and keep on training. And move on, set my ego aside, which is sometimes hard. But that was my plan going to the Open, so that I could just come top 20. And I think I came 31st or 32nd in the Open. So yeah, then I kept on training.
That's awesome. I think that's important. I said you do put a lot of expectations. I think any high level athlete has to, and you've been at the highest level. You went to the CrossFit Games in 2018.
Yeah.
And what was that experience like? How was that for you?
Oh, I played a lot of sports over the years, and that was definitely the highlight of my sport career for sure. The coolest thing I've ever done. So you go once and then you just want that experience again. And then they kind of, they make it harder for you. And I keep getting older. So I'm at the top of my age group now, but
so what division are you in right now? What age group are you in right now?
I'm in the 35 to 39 age group.
Awesome. So you will go again, I'm sure. I know you will go again for sure.
I'm training for 40. I'll never be so excited to hit 40.
That's right. So what did you do between the Open where you finished 31st and the Online Qualifier, which happened about 2 weeks ago now? What did you do between those two events?
I definitely tackled some of my weaknesses. I feel like training for me is I got to have fun. So I have to have, I still have to work on the things that I'm good at to make it fun. But I also have to work on my weaknesses. So ring muscle ups is like my big weakness that I've been working really hard on. Lifting under fatigue, stuff like that. Training with a group. So it's always good to have people that push you and motivate you to kind of hold each other accountable. So I have a good crew at CFQ, and then coming to the camp in January kind of kicked my butt back into training, and it was a big eye opener. I had pneumonia and stuff the month of December, so I feel like that was really good for me. It was a big eye opener, and I was like, all right, I gotta dig deep here and work on my mental game more than anything, to be honest. And then signing up for the Blizzard Beatdown, which always makes me anxious to do. I did it again to you train every day, but you don't necessarily always go to that dark zone. And I feel like getting outside your comfort zone and really pushing to that red line I think that's healthy for us. I think it makes you do things that you wouldn't normally do maybe in training. So 100%. It was good for me, even though I didn't like it. I'm glad I did. And then I think that was a good prep for, okay, now we only have a month and a bit to train for the online qualifier. So it was good.
Yeah, I think, and I said, I've seen you train before. I've seen you at the camps at Blizzard Beatdown. I think you performed awesome. And I think that's super important, is to use competition to help better yourself. And as long as you can frame it in that way, you can do things that you didn't imagine possible beforehand. And I think that's what you saw. I saw for you in this weekend as well in the online qualifier. You did move up. So
Yeah.
what place did you finish in the online qualifier this past about a week and a half ago?
Yeah. I came 21st worldwide, which again, I I'm kind of kicking myself for not redoing the workouts. I did one and done again. That's it. Just do them once, move on. I had a lot of other stressors in my life about my clinic. My partner and I were stressing big time, and it was a very difficult weekend for me. But I'm still. I mean, could I have done better? Probably, but that doesn't really matter. I think that each workout I went into it and I pushed hard, and I was proud of my effort considering where my headspace was for that weekend. But yeah, I was, I think my proudest moment was the Friday night. I've done a max clean and jerk at 215 once ever in my life. And I squat clean 220 once ever in my life. And that was back in November. And I honestly have not even tried to do anything super heavy since. And so I got 215 and it felt great. And I squat clean 220 twice. So I think that was pretty, for me, that was a big, okay, I am getting stronger. And all the power stuff we've been working on, Brett, I think I was like, yay.
Yeah.
Nice
And
to see it pay off.
I saw that too. And I said you performed really well all weekend, and you were very extremely supportive of those that were competing here on the island and competing at your own gym as well. So I appreciate that from talking to you all weekend and seeing how you performed and kind of knowing what was going on in your life as well. So is there anything that you took away from that weekend that you're going to did you learn that you can use kind of moving forward?
Maybe to believe in myself a little bit more. I don't know. I kind of went into it being like, I'm here for Heather and Annika and Mike. I'm going to do the workouts. I'm going to help them strategize. I'm going to say, push here, hold back here, pace this, like that's what I kept telling you too, going into it. Like, I don't have a chance. My goal was, okay, maybe if I could hit 28th or 29th around there, move up a couple spots, that would have been cool. So I think after the weekend, my takeaway was, I don't know, believe in myself, I guess, a little bit more than what I did going into that weekend. You never know, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, and I think that's any athlete. I think any kind of athlete needs to hear that, and seeing it firsthand is seeing what you're capable of. I think that you can definitely have that belief going forward. So with everything going on right now, I assume you're just going to keep your training up at home and do what you can.
Yeah. And now I have like Annika and Heather going to the games, and I'm super, super pumped for them, like beyond excited for them. So I'm really looking forward over the next couple of months of training with both of them and pushing them, and just having, I don't know, that was my favorite part when I went to the games, was the training. Like, there was definitely some very, very hard days, but the training was like my favorite part. I just absolutely loved it. And by the time I got to the games, it was a joke. Like, it was a walk in the park, compared to all the work that I put in beforehand.
So do you have any advice then, I guess, for Annika, for Heather, for anybody that's prepping for the games or prepping for a big event coming up? Do you have any advice for them? I think from your experience, you're a high-level athlete in CrossFit and in track in the past and whatnot. What advice do you have for them right now?
For me, my main goal was to stay healthy and to stay not injured. Being, a master's, I'm a baby master's, but still, I'm pretty hard on my body, and Annika's young, but she can push and push and push and injure herself, and Heather's 45, and man, she can put her body through a lot too. It's impressive. So staying healthy and I think the biggest thing for me was making sure that I was sleeping enough, eating enough, drinking enough water, and like stretching and doing all the rehab and stuff in between training. For if you make it to the games, it's not the training part that you have to stress about. Like, you got there because you're good at training and because you're good at competing, right? You want to make sure that you cover all your bases in your training. But I think for high level athletes, the biggest thing is like staying healthy and not injured.
And I think that's important for any athlete right now, especially with everything going on in the world and people being physically isolated. I think it's important to get your sleep, eat healthy, to do your mobility before, after workout. So I think anyone
get outside.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
thank you, Colleen. I know you have 3 young boys to take care of and get on with the day there.
We're going to go for a walk, wear them out.
Perfect. Amazing. So again, thanks for chatting with us here, and we'll
Yes,
talk to you
thanks for
soon.
having me.
Thanks, Colleen.
All right, see ya. Thank you.
Yeah.